0 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. See, I hear the chuckles already. This is actually a real box score from my high school state championship quarterfinal game. Now, a few things I need to say first because I already see some judgment and laughter in the crowd. Did I play a full game? I did. Was I injured? I was not. And some people may ask, bro, can you even hoop? I promise I used to be able to play basketball. So despite this was in my sophomore season, and I was usually a key contributor on my team. But what I found, based on this game, I know, and my coach knows, that I'm actually better than this. And I'm better than this in the box score. Despite my awful performance in my mind, my team actually still won the game. We actually beat a top-ranked opponent, and we advanced to the semifinals. Post-game, I still remember it like it was yesterday. Coach grabs me, my head is down, and he tells me a few things. He says, 1, played a great game. 2, keep your head up. And 3, you're a big reason why we won. Now imagine my surprise. I said, Coach, maybe I need to let you know again, 0 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. What are you talking about? So he noticed I looked very confused, and he said to me, there are a few things you did, and I call these winning plays, that had nothing to do with scoring the basketball. So here's what he told me. He said, first of all, you played with great energy, and you kept the best player on the other team from scoring and having a great game. Number 2, he told me you made great decisions. You took care of the basketball. And number 3, he told me that you sacrificed mediocre shots for yourself so that you could have great shots for your teammates. Now, I'm almost certain and positive that nobody in this room was in Murfreesboro, Tennessee many, many years ago watching this game. And I think that if you were just looking at this box score, you would agree with me that my play was trash. That's only if you're looking at the box score. And so at 16 years old, I was introduced to this idea that the box score, it doesn't tell the full picture. This idea that success can show up for you beyond the box score. So over the course of my career, I've been and worked in many, many different situations. I worked with some of the best sports leaders and business owners around the world. Here's what I've learned. The great champions and great leaders, they all share the same DNA. They all have great output and great input. That's like the box score. But much like I learned after my team's quarterfinal victory, where I didn't perform as well, there are a set of foundational skills that are available to each one of us. And the best leaders, they know that those foundational skills are far beyond the box score. These are the ways that you build your true championship credentials. Now, within the context of sport, I'm sure many of you are familiar with points scored and metrics like number of assists. That's the box score. And in business, we use terms like sales leader or revenue produced. Those are traditional box score metrics. So much so that in school, we put the value in your IQ, we put the value in your test scores. But that only talks about a person's pure talent. I've found that's actually not where the true genius actually lies. I've been fortunate enough to work with and observe some of those great champions and leaders throughout all industries. Physical attributes, scholastic pedigree, they do play a role. But that's not where the greatness lies. The most important metrics are available to me and to you. You don't have to be 6'9". You don't have to run a 4.40. The best know that they're performing, and their performance, it goes beyond what you see here. Courage. It's not hard to know. If you think about someone like Kobe Bryant, there are a lot of instances of him showing courage. Some of you know this. Kobe scored 81 points in the game. He actually ruptured his Achilles and stayed in the game and shot free throws. He also broke a finger, stayed in the game, didn't even come out and got popped right back into place. While Kobe did win a handful of championships, 5 to be exact, and he became a great individual player, some of the traditional ways that Kobe showed courage, they involve things like showing toughness and sometimes borderlining on intimidation. And while that worked for him as an individual, most will admit, and he would admit, that it actually wasn't the way to build great community with his teammates, or sometimes even with family. So here's what we can learn from Kobe. The evolution of having championship level courage, it begins with transparency. It begins with vulnerability. It begins with humility. And Kobe's most contributions, I would argue, actually came after he retired, not while he was on the court. His willingness to share and mentor with younger players, his willingness to help his daughter and actually fight for women's equality, those are actually the metrics that actually matter and make a difference. Kobe's courage on the court, it made him one of the most fierce competitors to ever live. But the adjustments he made as a man to mentor, to be vulnerable, to be humble, it actually is why we're talking about him tonight. It made him one of the most inspirational figures of our time. And those things go far beyond the box score. What is combustion? Scientifically, combustion is the rapid combination of oxygen in a process that produces heat and light. But relationally, combustion is the thing that actually produces the energy where you can become light in sometimes what can be a very, very dark world. Consider this question. How do you feel and how do people feel after they interact with you? The Harvard Business Review says that the greatest predictor of success is not charisma, it's not influence, it's not even innovative genius. The one thing that supersedes all of these factors is something they call positive relational energy. It's the energy that uplifts, it enthuses, and it energizes not just others, but it energizes yourself. So here's how positive energy goes far beyond the box score. In life, we attract what we are. You can't get what you want by pretending to be something. You get what you put out. Energy can't be faked. So our objective isn't to be phony. It isn't to give false praise. It is certainly not to ignore obvious red flags. Great leaders and champions are able to find honest and truthful traits within every interaction. And they bring the best out of every situation and every encounter. The Vietnamese monk, his name is Thich Nhat Hanh, he famously said, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. So here's the deal, everybody. The more positive energy that you give, the more positive energy you'll get back. The more love and patience that you put into the world, the more love and patience you'll receive. And the more transparent you are willing to be, the more willing others will be to be vulnerable with you. And just also know that the more hate that you give, the more hate you get back. It works both ways. So while others are focused on their box scores and their scoreboards or personal accomplishments, we can decide tonight, right now, that we're going to focus on bringing the type of combustible, positive energy that enthuses, that infects, and creates positive opportunities for yourself and for others. Cohesion, in 2012, when the Miami Heat, they won the world championship, the box score read much better than mine. LeBron James, 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists. I wish I had that box score. Here's what went far beyond that, though. Dwayne Wade, who was the team captain, he actually sat with LeBron during the preseason and he said, in order for us to get where we need to go, I have to take a step back so that you can take a step up. And so, what was the result? 2 back-to-back championships and 4 championship finals in a row. Here's what we need to know about cohesion. Champions and top business leaders, they understand that putting the team first involves letting go of your ego and putting the needs of others in front of your own. Pastor Darius Daniels from Atlanta, Georgia, he put a spin on the Maya Angelou quote that says, it's not about how important you are, it's about how important you make others feel. Simon Sinek, in his book, Leaders Eat Last, he titled it that way because in the military, the leaders, the highest ranking officers, make sure that those in their command eat first and are well cared for. That's leadership trait. And I was fortunate, actually, to work with and learn from one of the greatest leaders in all of pro sports. His personal achievements and records, they speak for themselves, but he's actually best known for being a great team player. So much so that 10 years after his retirement, he's still affectionately known as the captain. So I had a bird's eye view into what cohesion meant in terms of leadership. Here are 3 things I learned from the captain. First, make sacrifices in order for your teammates to be successful. Second, when you make a mistake, be accountable. Don't blame your teammates. And lastly, let another man praise you. If you are accomplishing all that you accomplish, you don't need to praise yourself. Let others do it for you. So the most effective ways that leaders and attributes they see, leaders know that they don't have to brag about what they do. Allow those who observe to tell your story. Stay humble and stay focused. Supporters of your teammates and being a great colleague, it means all of those things, but it's also thinking of yourself less, but not thinking less of yourself. Coach Mike Tomlin put it great and perfectly in the heated moment of the 2-minute drill for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin said, "Put your pride to the side and remember, everything is about the team, always the team." So the early stages of success and the early stages of building championship credentials, they often come from very humble beginnings. After my quarterfinal game in the state tournament, we actually won the next game, which got us to the semifinal. We won the championship, and which allowed us to be only the second team in our school's history to win the state championship. But I had to make a chance, and I had to take a chance knowing, who am I going to be? Am I going to worry about my stats? I'm going to put my pride to the side and focus on the team. So since I chose the latter and our team was successful, I had a front row view of what doing less for myself and more for the team could do. So it's always about having a choice. So today, you get to choose. Everyone has a choice. Today, choose courage. Remember that courage doesn't mean being tough always or being the meanest person in the room. Actually, courage is about vulnerability. Courage is about being humble, being willing to ask for feedback. Choose courage. Choose combustion. Remember, combustion is positive energy. We as humans attract light, and we love to have energy and produce the type of energy that enthuses and renews and creates positivity for everyone else. And lastly, choose cohesion. Being a team player means sacrificing for yourself. It means sacrificing for others. As an individual, you can accomplish great things like Kobe, or as a team of united souls, you can truly change the world. No matter where you are, whether you're at work or whether you're at school, no matter where you find yourself today, I believe that success is truly available to all of us. And I'm so glad that for me and for you, there's so much more beyond the box score. Thank you.